Hello everyone. So as you know, the DBD 10th anniversary event is currently underway, and there have certainly been a lot of different thoughts and feelings shared within the community. After taking some time to fully gather my thoughts, I figured I would share my perspective about this whole situation and the conclusion that I have come to. And that would be that the truth is, the DBD anniversary event is messy. The truth is, there are a lot of different opinions and feelings being voiced. And here's the biggest bombshell. The truth is, everyone is entitled to their opinion and however they feel about this event. Okay, maybe that's not actually a bombshell, but this video isn't about firmly taking a side. It's about my perspective of trying to see things from other people's point of view and exploring the nuances of the situation. So just to be clear, there are a lot of frustrations people have with the event, and that is valid. I'm not here to tell anyone they are wrong. I don't think I or anyone really has the authority to do so. I will share my thoughts on the event, which are just that, my opinions, so if anyone disagrees, that's cool. Also, just to preface, my perspective is based on having played both Survivor and Killer pretty evenly across the event. So the Black Banquet theme as a whole. When I first heard it, I thought it sounded kind of cool and maybe a fresh new idea after 10 years of the masquerade. How everything has panned out, I do find it to be a bit lackluster for what I would have hoped for with this being a big milestone event. Like, I thought the formal attire would be kind of neat, but only a few characters even got specific cosmetics, and I'm not really a huge fan of the mask style. Luckily, Renato has a sleek, newer outfit, and I can still rock the masquerade mask too. In-game, I do kind of miss the party vibe with streamers and balloons decorating the maps. In the certain maps that have the big banquet table set up, I think that actually looks really cool, but we only get that in select maps. Otherwise, it's just two random tables around the map. So overall design to me, I think had potential, but is a bit lackluster. Now onto the actual event mechanics. I do like the concept of the different dishes each match having different effects. Basically, the main mechanic of getting plates and placing them on the table is not super interactive and gets pretty boring and repetitive. Maybe it could be like we need to find different ingredients for the dishes around the map and gather them, and then someone has to cook them, and then you get some sort of team buff. That's just a random idea, but I'm sure there are a number of ways to make it a bit more interactive. And yes, survivors can currently get a lot of pretty strong effects like unbreakable pallets, invincibility, invisibility, portals, and a speed boost. I personally don't think that's inherently a problem on its own. It's a fun event mode. I am open to experiencing chaos. Now, killers basically just get the poison bottle. I do think some people underestimate how strong that bottle can be in chase. As long as you can hit them with it, you will usually get a free hit. It also can help kind of lessen some of the effects like invisibility or the speed boosts. You can also poison the carts, tables, and generators. I tend to do this a lot, mainly just to get points. I have had survivors get poisoned this way, but it's a lot harder to get value from. I have found it to be good on a high progressed gen. You can put it on there and then not stray too far away, so the survivor will either get on and get poisoned, or it will deter them from being able to stop it from regressing. So yeah, the bottle is stronger than I think some people give it credit for. It's just not exactly that fun. Getting hit with it as a survivor is extremely unfun, because there's pretty much nothing you can do to avoid taking a hit. I don't necessarily even have an issue with that, it's just not very fun. And it being the only thing you can do as killer is also not very fun. Let's say we just went with my gathering ingredients idea. Maybe killers could still be able to poison a certain amount of items at a time, and they can also get some kind of effect for doing so. Or maybe they can collect ingredients and make their own dishes that have an effect. I don't know, there are probably so many ideas of interactive things that could be added. I don't necessarily think much even needs to be changed on the survivor side if killers were given a lot more to do and buffs they can get as well. I don't have a problem overall with temporary unbreakable pallets or the invisibility. If anything, I would maybe like to see some limits on the amount of times you can get a buff from eating the food, because I have seen that being annoying when some survivors just always have a plate when you try to enter chase. But overall, I have been able to counter most of the effects many times, and they're only there for short periods. So that brings me to my overall experience I've had playing the event. I have actually been enjoying playing Killer more than Survivor. I have escaped very few matches on Survivor, and I have lost very few matches on Killer. And let's be clear, I'm not exactly the strongest player on either side. When I play Survivor, like, I want to interact with the event, but it does take a lot of time to grab plates and place them on the tables. It feels a bit stressful then trying to balance that with actually doing the objective of the game. And I see that being the overall issue. People are trying to interact with the event, so generators are just not getting done. I'm also still facing a lot of Jasons, and I'm pretty burnt out at this point with him, so I'm just not finding that fun. I like putting the plates on the tables and trying to get the full team heal at an ideal time. That's a dopamine hit for me. And maybe then I'm just not spamming eating the food, so I don't know. I don't feel like the buffs from that are making me or my teammates unbeatable gods. So I've been playing a lot of Killer. I'm a Chucky main, and I enjoy playing a semi-friendly Chucky during event modes or just when I feel like it. I have demonstrated this a few times on my channel. I don't just fully play friendly and farm, I actually play pretty normally for most of the game and attempt to two-hook everyone. I might be a little silly here and there, and then a lot of times I will let them leave, although I have been killing them sometimes in this event because I'm just trying to get more points. But I do try to not kill them too soon if I'm doing really well, just so people can spend more time in the event and getting points. I've been having a fairly easy time in the event on Chucky. I've also been playing some Blight, who I've only just started playing like for the last week, and I play on controller. So I'm pretty bad with him, but I'm still getting a lot of wins. So I will probably continue to play both sides, but probably leaning more towards killer. So the heart of what really bothers me the most is not the event at all, and it's not necessarily people's reactions to it either. But what does bother me is the hostility and anger that players direct toward each other. To be fair, I maybe just need to stop looking at the DBD Reddit, but there's a lot of it on YouTube as well. And of course, it's not just about this event, it's the ongoing us versus them war. Seeing that over and over does make me really sad. There is already so much division and hate in this world. At least for me, video games are meant to be an escape from things like that. But I start to feel like I'm being surrounded by it in a game that I love, and that is hard. But the truth is, as I've said, it's just a very complicated thing. A wise person in my life often reminds me that many things can be true at the same time. The event may be survivor-sided on paper. The event may not feel fun for both survivors and killers. People have a lot of valid opinions to share. We can't expect the developers to make changes, and we also have to realize they are never going to be able to please every person in a large and opinionated fan base. There will be things you don't agree with or like. The only thing we can really do is share our opinions in a constructive way and then try to accept that we have little control over anything beyond that. Attacking each other is not going to solve anything. It's just going to keep creating a stronger divide. Like, I have seen this very clearly already just with this event. Some killer players are very angry about the buffs that survivors have. So I've seen people say they want to run certain builds to make people's experience miserable or tunnel people out as punishment for engaging with the mechanics that we have been given. And then some survivor players are getting angry that they're being tunneled or not having fun. Some have said they're no longer going to bring cakes because there's no point in trying to help each other get more points. So it all just seems like a vicious cycle to me, and we are trying to punish each other for things that we didn't choose or have control over. So I'm not here just trying to virtue signal. My stance is always that people can play however they want, even if it's not what I would do or it's not fun for me. If it's affecting me that much, I have the freedom to take a break or walk away from the game entirely. No one is forcing us to play this game, but I personally am not at that point at all. I will continue playing the event on both sides. I will bring my cakes, and I may be disappointed if some others don't, but ultimately, I won't know the reason they didn't, and it doesn't really matter. I will be trying to make the most I can out of the event, even if I don't love it or agree with all of the mechanics. I will try to help others out in getting the most points they can and having fun. And if I do start to feel frustrated, I will try my best not to take it out on the other players. Because the truth is, when it comes to this event, or DBD as a whole, or even further out to actual real-life scenarios, we can only control what we can control. So feel however you feel, react however you want, and decide for yourself how you're going to handle those things. But if there is one thing I can try to ask of others, is to remember everyone is just another human behind the screen, and trying to show a little empathy and kindness can go a long way. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I just felt like sharing some of the thoughts I've been having and provide a different perspective than some of the other content I've seen. If you feel inclined, please check out the rest of my channel and subscribe. I have a variety of both survivor and killer related content. I hope to see you again soon.